Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator, and welcome to, we're about midway between Seattle and Tacoma. If you're not familiar with the area, Seattle and Tacoma is considered to be one big metro area. So we're right between, we drove to, tell you what, let me get a map going here. We drove to Olympia last trip. We drove to, I want to say we drove from Wenatchee to Olympia. There was nothing going out of Olympia. There was nothing going out of Tacoma, but I found this job going out of Seattle, SeaTac they call it, and it's going down to Kennewick, which is an area we want to go to. It's 243 miles. I think we should be able to do that in one episode, no problem. And at that point, all we'll have left is Grand Coulee, and then Aberdeen and Longview. We'll figure out how we'll get to these. I guess we could have done these today, but it's really not very far. But we'll figure it out. We'll get the whole state crossed off our list. We are in our 378, which is really a 389. Looks like a 378. And I swapped some lights around a little bit. And I put those big air cleaner covers on, the big stacks. I don't know. We'll see how we feel about that. What I can tell you though is, let's hop inside. Frame rate for 1.35 continues to get better and better. I'm really impressed. I am. There was another little patch this morning, and it just seems to be getting better and better and better. Nothing but impressed with what SCS has been doing the past few months. All right, let me get a little bit of volume going here. I can barely hear the truck. There it is. There it is, and we will be on our way. We've got a little sat-nav in the dash, so we don't need our mini-map up. 243 miles ought to take, I don't know, not too long. 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And we've got a little digger on the back there. So, let me see. It's Friday for me. It's Saturday for you. Let's go through the regular list. Let's go through the rundown. Road to the Black Sea. No word yet. I don't know. I mean, I mention it every Truck Sim episode. I don't know why. I really did think that it was going to be following right on the heels of the Washington DLC, the way they announced it, and because they typically do things, you know, a little bit over here and then a little bit over here, I thought it was due soon. Who knows? Could be Christmas for all I know. But no word on that. And then other than that, let's get out of here carefully. Carefully. Not a lot of traffic at 7 o'clock in the morning. There we go. And I did, when I swapped this truck over, I did put another one of those Caterpillar 3408s in it. This one is at 700 brake horsepower, so it's a little more beastly than the one we have in our straight 389, the one we've been spending so much time in with the little flat top sleeper on it. So this was, yeah, this is got a little more grunt to it. All right, here, stop. Wow, this thing's got some weight to it. So what else is going on? It's August now. It is, what is it, the 2nd? The 1st, the 2nd? I don't know. It's early August. And in August, we've got, let me see if I can remember all these. In August, we've got Train Sim World 2020 dropping. I think we're going to get dinged here. Let's just stop and be safe. Yeah, I was going to go for it, but that's how I get tickets every time. Every time. I can't see the light from inside the truck, though, so I got to scoot out here. So yeah, Train Sim World 2020 will be releasing middle of August. Early September, September 3rd, I want to say, is when Uplay Plus goes live. Uplay Plus, if you're not familiar with it, Ubisoft has this subscription service that they're testing. Essentially, you get access to not every single one. I think it's about 100. Where do they want me here? I think over here. I think you get access to about 100 Ubisoft games for $15 a month, I want to say. And I feel like there was some kind of open enrollment. I don't know if you can still sign up for it, or if you sign up for it now, you get different perks. I don't know, something. I signed up for it like the second that I saw it. I'm conflicted. I really am, because none of the games that I'm going to have access to are really something that I would bring to the channel, at least for the moment. I mean, if it's something you really want to see, let me know, but you know, things like Ghost Recon and The Division and you know, Anno, maybe the Anno series. I don't know, but you get all those games. Yeah, I think there's about 100 of them. But you get all of them. You get Division 1, you get the Division 2, you get all the Anno games, you get all the Ghost Recon, you get all the Rainbow Six, you get all the Far Cry. It's crazy, and you get it for $15 a month. Now, I have a question, and this has not been adequately answered. I've heard both answers as answers. One answer is for your $15 a month, you get access to those games, and obviously everything is server side now. So all your tunes and all your save games is all saved on the cloud, yo. And there they stay as long as your subscription remains active. Now, one rumor is that if your subscription lapses, all your tunes go away, and that is the incentive for you to keep paying for the service. And then the other camp is like, nah, man, they wouldn't do that. Times is hard, yo. People's lives change, and if you've got hundreds or thousands of hours invested in a character and then you can't come up with the $15 one month, that doesn't mean you lose everything. That would be messed up. Oh, I'm going over here. Ooh, that was a little dicey. Could have been handled better. Both make sense. From a business and marketing perspective, it's not quite blackmail, but you know what I mean. From a business and marketing perspective, the idea of trying to slow down and change lanes here wants me over. There we go. That's a little better. You get what I'm saying. You know, of course you want to incentivize people to continue to subscribe to your service, and one of the ways that you do that is by holding their tunes hostage. I get that. And then from the other side, the other perspective, it's like, yeah, no, don't do that, man. That's messed up. It's people's lives really do. Oh dear. Things happen. Their lives change, you know, from month to month, and a lot of gamers are kids, college students. You know, things change. So I can't even see where it wants us to go. All right, so that is closed. We got to get over here, and then as soon as we can get to a straight piece of road here, we'll reroute. I feel like, did we reroute through here one time before? I feel like we did. Now, what's this guy doing?
Okay, let's find a new course.
All right.
Keep right.
Okay. I think it already rerouted us. Fantastic. Regardless of how that works out, I am really, really looking forward to it. And like I said, I believe you can still sign up for it, but I think if you signed up for it super, super early, you got maybe some extra perks or something. I don't know. Something. There's like a sign-up fee, and it gets waived if you signed up early. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm barely paying attention to anything at this point. But that's coming, and I'm very excited about it. I'm also, I have to say, I've got a little bit of anxiety about it because I am genuinely concerned that it will pull my attention away from the channel. As it is right now, the channel is growing. Thank you for that, by the way. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel, and I do appreciate everybody who stops by. The channel is growing, and I don't want to lose my momentum, and I certainly don't want to lose my momentum by falling down an RPG hole, which has been known to happen. If you look at my Steam stats, some of the games that I've put hundreds and hundreds of hours into are not really anything that you'll ever see on the channel. And that's, you know, kind of cuts both ways. It's easy to say, well, you know, gaming is my hobby. Gaming is something that I'm trying to spin up into something a little bit more whatever. But not those kind of games. Those games don't do anything for the channel. They're just fun to play. That'll be our little secret. So that is September. What else happens in September? WRC 8 drops in September. Excited about that. Although I have to say, WRC is probably the least favorite. Oh dear, stopping. We got it. WRC, the WRC series by Big Ben is probably my least favorite rally series. So we'll see. It's good. It's definitely good. It's just not as, I don't know, something. Can't see the light. It's not as something as Dirt. It's just not. And I don't know what's missing. Concentrating. Moment, please. I think we got it.
Keep right.
Right. We'll go this way. Sir. I know he's pulled off to the side. That's interesting. Okay. It's a nice little detail. Right. So we're going up here. Swing it a little bit wide. Don't hit anything. Nobody coming. Beautiful. That is September. October is Farm Simulator Platinum, which is on the fence about that too. They're bringing, I think, 35 pieces of Klaus equipment to the game. People have been waiting for Klaus for a long time. I don't know. I mean, I assume I'm going to have to buy something. Even though I already own the game, I'm going to have to buy the Platinum Edition. That always kind of, you know? And I get it. You know, if you don't want it, don't buy it. I get it. But at the same time, for all the people that have really been waiting for Klaus in base game for so long, I feel like this could be... I mean, the nicest thing to do would be to just patch it in there for free, right, as part of the 1.5 patch. But business is not about being nice. Business is about making money. So I get it. And then we want to be over here, maybe. And then the other thing I suppose you could do is just make it a DLC for $5 or $10 or however. Wow, this is things are getting a little intense here in Washington. Gotta be careful. I keep right again. Okay. Whoa, wait, what? Oh dear. Now we've done it. Okay. I thought that detour routed us all the way around. We're just... Oh, Jesus. Okay. Moment. Hang on. We're going to need to sort this out manually. When it rerouted it, I thought it rerouted us. But it really didn't. Okay. Hang on. Going to the map. Here we go. So, we want to be... Where are we? We're right there. We want to be there. And the blockage is here. I mean, do we want to go down this way? I think we have to. If the road is blocked here... Yeah, I think we have to. Well, shoot, dang. That is going to complicate things. Yeah, it does. Like right now, I would love to see a little something right here, because we came through here earlier. Like the block is right here. And we came down here, but then it's still blocked here. Okay, well, we can't keep fretting about it. We're just going to have to grit our teeth and take this long detour. Okay, hey man, that's the life of a log haul American trucker. Nothing to be done about it. Right, so the Platinum DLC. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I am looking forward to Klaus. There have been honestly over the years, there have been some really good Klaus mods. There have been a lot of bad ones. Oh, there have been some bad ones. So I am looking forward to Klaus mods in, well, they wouldn't be mods at that point. Klaus equipment in base game. I think that's cool. And also, it gives mod makers kind of a better starting point, because essentially what mod makers will do is they'll pull those Klaus now base game or Platinum game tractors out of the code, and they'll make their mods based on those. So rather than people building their own models or kind of shoehorning, you know what I mean? Taking something that's really not the right thing, really not appropriate. I need another gear here. There it is. And kind of, you know, trying to make it look like a Klaus. They'll be starting from officially licensed, you know, laser scanned, whatever, yada yada. So that will be cool that they can start from there and then make their mods based on that. So I am looking forward to it, and I will most likely buy it. If nothing else, I'll buy it for the channel. But I'll also buy it because, like a lot of people, I've been waiting for Klaus equipment too. And I think Klaus was one of the first things that kind of got me hooked on FS15. I was into Truck Sim, and I kept seeing... I kept seeing Farm Sim mods when I went to the dodgy mod sites to download things for Truck Sim. I had no interest in it, and but I kept seeing these. I kept seeing things like the New Holland Smart Track. Looks like a damn robot. It looks like a transformer. I want a transformer. So I went ahead and got into Farm Sim 15, and the rest, as they say, is history. So that is that, and then something is coming in October. No. Yes? Yeah, Farm Sim is coming in October. Oh, we're going to be over here. Farm Sim is in October. Nothing in November. That's it. Nothing in November. And then in December is Automobilista 2. I am really conflicted about Automobilista 2. Well, that's tricky to say. All I hear about it are good things. I hear that it is an amazing sim. It has fantastic physics. It is just... It's groovy in every possible way. People love it. Okay. Here's the problem. I already have like a dozen race sims, and I really have no interest in the Brazilian racing scene. Like, it doesn't resonate with me at all. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Brazilian racing scene. I just have no information about it. I don't know a favorite driver. I don't know a series. You know, I got nothing. Wow, we are fighting at this episode. But I'm telling you what, we are going to get to, where are we going? Kennewick? We are going to get to Kennewick. I might even do it in one episode just to be spiteful. Kennewick in the rain. We ain't scared. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's no part of the Brazilian racing scene that I'm like passionate about, or, you know what I mean? Committed to. So, get the right gear here. There we go, 72,000 pounds. That's like a feather. It's hardly anything. So the only reason that I would play something like Automobilista 2 would be for the sim aspect of it. Like, how are the physics? How are the cars? What do the graphics look like? But I have no additional interest or commitment in the content itself. And that's when I think, well, I do have like a dozen race sims that pretty much blanket the spectrum. Every type of racing, from like British touring cars and German touring cars, straight up to F1. I got it all. I'm covered. I don't need another race sim. But from another angle, I don't need 12 race sims, so why don't I need 13? You see what I'm saying. But fortunately, I got a couple months to think about it. That's not till December. And I assume there's going to be a lot of things in November because of the holidays. And, you know, game developers like to do kind of a drop in November for holiday sales. So we'll see. We'll see what else happens there. But yeah, it's going to be a good month. What is happening in the real world in the current present time? Spin tires, that big spin tires patch, which I had no idea about, totally snuck up on me, and I love it. It's really, really cool. I thought spin tires was retired, at least as far as I was concerned. I, in fact, had almost uninstalled it a couple times, but it's such a small... What's this person doing, sir? It's such a small sim. It's on my hard drive. It's, I think, only about a gig. I left it on there. You know, what's a gig? Who cares? And because I left it on there, then it did update automatically, and I saw the little notification and everything. I really had not thought that I would ever play it again after Mud Runner came out. And it's surprisingly fun. It's different than Mud Runner. And now I think it's even more different because of the patch. And I'm really not clear on what happened. I guess the simplest or the most succinct explanation is there was some kind of a falling out between the people that own Mud Runner, that bought Mud Runner, the developers of spin tires, different groups, I don't know. And some kind of, you know, it's like with your rock and roll. When you end up with a bad contract and your record label is like, well, you know, you owe us 3 records. And it's like, but I hate you. I don't want to do good work, and then you end up making money from it for 30 years. But I don't want to put out bad work for my fans. What do I do? And you hear about bands that like they have 10 years to do 3 albums, and they just like fold their arms and say F you. I'm not doing it. And they tour and they do side projects or whatever, and they just wait for 10 years to go by for that contract to lapse. And then they release a record or whatever. I have no idea, but it sounds like there was some kind of a dispute, and now the franchises have split because Mudrunner no longer uses the term Spin Tires in it anywhere, and Spin Tires now refers to itself as the original game. And anytime you see that, you know what I'm saying? That's Spin Tires official. It's got the little blue bird next to it and everything. But that is super, super cool, and I'm enjoying Spin Tires again, and I think I'll bring that back to the channel, at least a few episodes. That is what's going on there. I won MotoGP. I won the championship by the skin of my teeth. Oh, I feel like I've got the AI exactly where I want it. It is, for me, unbelievably difficult. I have to concentrate and focus with all my little, I gotta scrunch my face up and super, super concentrate just to make a podium. But as far as winning every race, no, that is not a possibility. And, I've always thought Milestone had an issue with rubber banding. They say they've got some kind of deep learning neural AI. I think that's just a fancy name for rubber banding, but we'll circle back to that. Anyway, I won the championship on the Aprilia. And if you're not familiar with MotoGP, like a lot of race sims now, it does have, you take development tests or you do development tests, and that allows you to upgrade, in this case, the motorcycle or the car, whatever kind of sim you're in. But it allows you to upgrade in the direction that you want to go in. And because, there's supposed to be balance of power so that all the vehicles, whether they're motorcycles, cars, whatever, there's supposed to be balance of power so that everything is essentially equal and you can pick your favorite team or your favorite brand and have a reasonable chance of winning. However, there are some dogs, and I think that's kind of an additional challenge that get a good gear here. There we go. There's one. Nothing there. Nothing there. Here we go. That it's more fun to win the championship or to beat the AI, however you want to say it. It's more fun to do that with a dog team than it is with a powerhouse team, particularly if that team is your team. And then with being able to adjust the AI, you can set it up so that even if you're a team that you want to drive for, ride for, even if they are a bit of a dog, you can dial the AI back and still have fun and still have a chance, whatever. But then there's the development programs as well. So overlaying the balance of power that all the cars or all the bikes are supposed to be equal, they're not all equal in all areas. They're just supposed to be overall equal. So some are going to be faster on the straights, but they don't handle as well. Some handle well, but aren't as fast on the straights. Some are really good on tires, maybe make less pit stops. You see what I'm saying? So with the RD points and with the development programs that so many of these sims have, it lets you develop the vehicle, whatever it is. It lets you develop it in the areas that you feel are deficient, either for the equipment itself or for your style, right? So let's say you got the corners dialed. Well, then you're going to focus on straight line speed because you don't need better handling. You've already got it. Even if the base handling of that whip is not particularly good, your skills more than make up for that. So yeah, you get what I'm saying. So it starts, I think the most you can get, I know the most you can get in MotoGP 19, the most development points you can get in a weekend is 60. And the first upgrades you make to the bike are 50 development points. Okay. The second ones you make are 120. All right. It's getting a little hectic now. And the next ones are 240, and these all stack. So you've got like 5 categories, and they have 2 or 3 or 4 bumps per category. So the first layer, they're 50 apiece. Fantastic. And then, right, it just starts ramping up. And by the time you get to the end, they're like 360 apiece. The final layer of improvement would take an entire season for just a couple, because they're They're 360 apiece. That's 720. So, 20 events in a season, 60. Yeah, it's basically, it takes 2 full seasons getting full R&D points every single weekend to take a bike from 0 to hero. And I had done 1 full season on the Aprilia and had it about, I'd say 75% of the way there, but it still wasn't super, super competitive. But I feel like I paid my dues. So at the end of the season, after I won the championship, it did give me an option to sign with the Ducati factory team. I've got a soft spot for Aprilia. I kind of like them as a brand. I like the hardware. But Ducati is Ducati. And I have to admit, I've owned a couple Ducatis in my life, and I have to admit I have an affinity for them, even though they're one of the powerhouse teams, and I always feel bad about going with a big dog. You know, I'd rather go with an underdog. But I put all that together. I like Ducati. I've ridden Ducati. Ducati made an offer, and I feel like I paid my dues with a dog team. Here we go. So I signed with Ducati, and we go off to Malaysia to do development tests, which is also cool because you get 3 packs. When you get to Malaysia, they give you 3 packs to test, and each of them, I would say, fairly radically alters the way that the bike behaves. And each of the packs is in a different direction. One is just absolute raw power. One is stability. One is agility. Different, right? So you test them all. You see what gives you the best consistent lap times and also the best tire wear, because that is really a factor in MotoGP 19. And then you pick it, and that's sort of the base layout of your bike for the season. You can't change it once you leave Malaysia. So a lot of little details like that. And for that reason, I am really enjoying MotoGP 19. However, I do feel like Milestone has always had some issues with rubber banding. I really do. And I know they use a lot of fancy words to describe their AI. I think they've got some issues with rubber banding. I pulled out in, where were we? Phillip Island, I think. Just a couple races from the end of the season. I had pulled out like a 3-second lead over Petrucci and Marquez, who were fighting for second, and they were a couple seconds behind me. I was in first, and everything was fine. And then with 3 laps to go, they start taking like 0.7 of a second per lap out of me, even though my lap times aren't dropping. Now, from one perspective, you can look at it and say, well, in the real world, right, Petrucci and Marquez would be maybe saving their tires, right? Maybe letting me burn my tires up, and then they're going to make a big push late race. Yeah, you could say that. But, you know, with slipstream being what it is, and it really is important in MotoGP 19, with slipstream being what it is, and concentrating, and with the time you lose fighting with somebody else, and the time you lose fighting with somebody else. Let's pull up a little bit here, if we can. There we go. Just needed the right gear. I would think that either Petrucci or Marquez would have, you know, if they had that performance sort of available to them, I feel like they would have either pushed a little harder to dice with me earlier in the race, or just made the pass on me. I don't know. I can sort of see what Milestone is going for when they do that. And I can sort of see how you could explain it away as deep neural machine learning, comprehensive AI, something. I can sort of see that. But from another perspective, it looks a lot like rubber banding. It feels like Mario Kart. So that's something that's always been a little bit challenging and a little bit frustrating about Milestone games. All of them. But you know what? It is what it is. If you don't like it, don't play it, is what I have to keep reminding myself. That being said, all that whining out of the way, it is really a fantastic sim, and I love it. I'm very pleased to have won the championship, and I'm glad that it took as much effort as it did. If it was any harder, I think it would have been frustrating to the point of wanting to throw the controller. If it had been any easier, I would have felt like they handed it to me. So that is what's going on there. F1, just continuing to plod my way through the 2018 season and really wanting to be done with it now. I am sort of in a grind mode. I would like to be done with it and focus on F1 2019. But OCD says no, you got to finish that season. And I'm also, there have been, I believe, 1 or 2 pretty significant patches for F1 2019. I think the game is ready to go. I think the last big patch was the one that I was waiting for. But if there was another big patch, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. I think F1 2018 is on 1.6 and F1 2019 is on 1.2. But Codemasters tends to patch in a pretty significant, pretty meaningful way. They get things right. As much as people dismiss the F1 franchise as just an arcade game, I feel like Codemasters really does make an effort to make that game something good and something significant. It feels like a sim to me. I don't know. Does not feel like an arcade game to me. Ain't no arcade I ever been in. That's a fantastic sim. R&D in that franchise as well, I think, is really, really well put together. I could do without the reporter. I think that's kind of silly, but what are you gonna do? What else is going on? I fell back into MXGP Pro, also by Milestone. I got Monster Energy Super Cup when it was released, and I have to say I was a bit disappointed with it. It was, I didn't feel like there were that many bikes. I didn't feel like there were that many tracks, or there were tracks, but they all kind of felt the same. And I'm not much of a fan of Supercross. But the Motocross GP, I think, is... I like the scenery better, even though you're not really looking at it when you're driving. You're primarily focused on not throwing the bike away. But I think the tracks themselves are bigger. There's weather, it's just... there is weather. Yeah, there's weather in Monster Energy Supercross. Moment. There's weather in that as well. It just feels different. Feels different. I don't know. And I guess I like the idea of a big European tour of a season, or a global tour, I guess is a better word for it. But yeah, I fell back into that, and I'm churning my way through, and I'm using the same AI or difficulty settings as I'm using in MotoGP 19. The sliders are almost identical as far as realism in Milestone games, so I just set everything up in MXGP the same as I have it set up in MotoGP 19, and it feels, obviously different. You're talking about a dirt bike versus a GP bike, but it's
Keep right, then turn right.
concentrating, but it's got the same feel to it. They're both running on Unreal 4, and that seems to be, or at least the way that concentrating, at least the way that Milestone has employed it or deployed it. What would be the proper word to use there? I think either would work. But the way that they've used the Unreal 4 engine, I think, really works well for motorcycle games, motorcycle sims. Turn signal. There we go. So that's what's going on there. What else? Oh, there was something else. I just thought of it. I was just going to tell you, and it slipped my mind. What was it? Oh, man. Well, hopefully it comes back to me. But there was something else I thought of. Something. Oh, I can't even remember. I hate when that happens. However, I do like working without notes. I like just kind of chatting with you about stuff that's on my mind. Right. Turn those off. Here we go. I think we're actually not too far. Let's take a look quickly while we're going straight. Yeah, another 5 minutes we'll be there. Beautiful. Oh, what was it? Oh, it's right there. It was right there. Oh, I remember. I remember. Unreal. Also running on Unreal. Train Sim World is running on Unreal, and I believe I have almost now the full set of DLC. I think there's 2 more I need to get, and I'm trying to get them before Train Sim World 2020 drops, because when it does, I'll need to buy that Western route, that California route, whatever it may be. But I've got to get the, there's an add-on loco for the UK routes, and then there is the DBBR155 for German routes. Is this where we want to be? SatNav, talk to me, buddy. I think we're good.
Keep left.
Keep left, huh? Okay. That is running on Unreal 4. That seems to be... they seem to be doing some optimizing there. I'm not sure if they're optimizing the base game code, or if the DLC routes that they're releasing are optimized better than the CSX Heavy Haul route, which is, oh man, it's tough to keep track of in my little brain. CSX Heavy Haul was the name of the first game, but then at some point it became Train Sim World, and I feel like for a little while there was like, it was both, you know? It was like CSX Heavy Haul by Train Sim World, and now it's just Train Sim World. And you can, as always, and they rotate it, or there's like different ones. I don't know. But when you go to the Train Sim World page in Steam, there's all these different bundles, and they're definitely a value. I mean, that's why they put them together, right? Buy more, save money. I get it. But it's always tricky to see those. I mean, I think I've got all the routes and most of the loco add-ons now, so they don't really apply to me anymore. But it's always tricky to see those. Kind of scratch your head, like, now wait a minute. And there are some of them, I've seen this as well. I don't know if Steam does this or Dovetail does this or both. I don't know how it works. But I feel like there are bundles where if you own... Delivery very soon. Okay, we're like an hour out. We'll get there. Ooh, a little quick around this bend. And we've got our trailer stability and our truck stability turned down almost to 0, so I might slow down a little bit here. Some of those bundles you can look at, and it's like, you know, I already own all that stuff except for one thing. I'll just go buy that one thing. However, if you put that bundle in your cart and buy it for yourself, it will sometimes simply remove all the stuff that you already have in your library, but give you the discount for the thing you don't have. So you can get the bundle price if you've bought everything else, which I think is a nice touch. Now, I don't know if the Steam app, the Steam client, does that automatically and Dovetail has no control over it, or if Dovetail sort of allows or requests that to happen. But I think that's fair. You know, if there's 5 things in a pack, buy all 5, get a discount, you already paid full pop for 4 of them. I think it's reasonable that Dovetail could give you the $1 off on the last one, whatever it may be, or however it works out. But that's you know, again, that's that business thing. I know a lot of people want to be nice, but they're restricted by their need to make money. Gotta pay the bills, yo. Oh man, I feel bad. I think we lost about maybe 5 minutes, 8 minutes on that little traffic snafu earlier. But when I saw the rerouting, I just assumed that it knew what it was doing and that it wouldn't reroute us back to exactly the same place where the jam up was. Oh, GPS, what am I going to do with you? Right in here. Get a good gear. There we go, 71,000. You know, I'm curious. We're at 71,739 pounds. I'm going to take a look on the replay. I wonder if we lost any weight for the fuel we've burned. You think? That would be, well, that would be very realistic. Sir, what are you doing? I see you back there. What are you doing? Making moves on ill will. I'm not having it. You wait your turn. Right. So we go right up around here. No traffic. We're good to go. There we go. What's the beeping for? Oh, okay. We were still under the speed limit of the ramp. Even though the sat-nav was showing 60, we still had, I guess, part of the trailer was back there. Who knows?
Keep right, and then exit.
Who knows? Right, so we're going over here. Okay. And we are just coming up on evening. We did a lot of this trip in rain, but it was daylight. And now we're just coming up on evening, so we may turn the lights on just as we get into, where are we going? Kennewick? We may have to turn the lights on just as we're getting into Kennewick, but we'll see. Through here. Beautiful. Oh, I think that's it. Are we there? I think we might be there. Okay. Yeah, when I take a look to throw this into render, I suspect that we'll be like 38 minutes, 40 minutes, and I think that extra time is just what we lost from me trusting the sat-nav. That was my mistake. But we will, when we get where we're going, we'll just skip delivery. We won't. Ooh, carefully. We won't back it in. We'll save a little time and try to get the episode wrapped up as quick as we can. We want this one? We do.
Exit right.
Right up here.
Turn left.
Right up here. Okay. Alright. Let's find a good gear here. Right there. Good over here. And we're good over here.
Keep right.
I feel like the AI is definitely getting better too. I know there's some weird stuff that happens at the end of ramps, and
Turn right.
occasionally you'll see either a car or a truck just going back and forth from one lane to the other. Can't make up its mind. Caught in a loop of some sort.
Get ready to turn left.
I get you. But
Turn left.
the cars are attacking you less, I guess. Oh, it's a good way to say it. There's less, like, I mean, obviously we want the AI to be, super realistic and let us continue to be immersed in all those things. That's the top goal. But at the very least, I don't want the AI to attack me and ruin my trip. Get some lights on. Beautiful. Perfect timing. And it seems like the AI is doing that less. It seems like they are less prone to doing things that cause you damage or just generally messing with you. All right, and it looks like we got a little chicane up here. It looks like we got a little right, left, right. Do we? Maybe? Okay.
Please
So we go.
turn when possible.
No, I will not. So we go through there. Carefully. Oh, we go right down here. That worked out well.
Go straight on.
Buddy, we made it. I don't need any more help from you. There it is. Fantastic. We're going right over here, and as soon as we get the screen, we'll just tap out.
Your route guidance is now finished.
There we are. Beautiful. How'd we do? Oh, late. How late were we? 7 minutes. Oh, you know what? If we had not got lost, if I wouldn't have made that little, what do you say? We would have been on time. Well, it only cost us $32 and 1 XP. We're not super late, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. I will see you next time. Take care now.